Nice to meet you. I'm Kaho Nishijima. I'm a nurse. I'm Kokoro Sakuraba. I work at a funeral home as a funeral planner.
You profit off people's misfortune, and now you're out here looking for a good man too?
Grandpa, get it. Please get it.
You want a branch? If I break it, the cherry blossom tree will be sad.
But...
I really wanted a cherry blossom branch. Young me puffed out my cheeks in frustration, wondering why he wouldn't get it for me.
I can't break off a branch, but how about trying to catch the falling petals? It's surprisingly hard.
Really? I'll do it. I want to. Let's make it a competition then.
As I excitedly ran through the cherry blossoms, I heard Grandpa laughing behind me.
Sorry for the sudden invitation, Souta.
It's fine. My work finally settled down anyway. It was a season when piled up snow from shoveling still lingered on the edges of the streets. It didn't seem like it would snow anymore this year, but it still got quite cold when the sun went down. I'm Souta Sokan, a 28-year-old architectural designer working in the design department of a mid-sized local construction company. It's rare for you to go to a mixer, Yuzuru.
Someone from work asked me, and I couldn't say no. Seriously, social obligations are such a pain.
It was a few days ago when he called, begging me to join because they didn't have enough guys for the mixer. I wasn't really looking for romance myself, but I agreed since it was a favor for my best friend. By the way, Yuzuru Sazanami is my best friend from college. We met in the architecture department, but he went on to become an IT engineer. Did you finally decide to go dye your hair, Yuzuru?
Nope, too much of a hassle.
Right. As you can see, Yuzuru has the kind of looks women won't leave alone, but he's extremely lazy. He hasn't dyed his hair in over 6 months, so it's grown out and he has dark roots. He still looks cool though. Good-looking guys really have it easy.
Good evening, sorry to keep you waiting.
Nice to meet you. I'm Souta Sokan. When we arrived at the restaurant, there were 2 men waiting. Counting us, it seemed there were 4 guys at tonight's mixer. When I introduced myself, the man who had been looking us up and down opened his mouth.
An architectural designer. Sounds like a decently high-paying job. Not bad, I guess.
Huh?
Huh?
I was surprised by his remark right off the bat, but I was even more surprised that Yuzuru got mad at him for evaluating me.
I'm so sorry. Hey, Kunigami.
It's fine, I don't mind. Come on, Yuzuru, stop glaring.
I hate that guy.
The one frantically bowing and apologizing on his behalf seemed to be the business client Yuzuru mentioned. He seemed humble, gentle, and like a good guy. Yuzuru deduced that Kunigami had probably pressured him into organizing this mixer. Every company has all sorts of people.
Yeah, sorry, Souta. I didn't think such a rude guy would be here.
Yeah, it's alright. But I am a little worried about how this mixer will go. Shortly after, all the female members arrived, and a picture-perfect mixer began. As for the men, Yuzuru's client works in real estate, and that obnoxious Kunigami is apparently a foreign-affiliated consultant.
There are a lot of cute girls here, so I'm looking forward to this. Oh, don't be nervous.
Not even 30 minutes had passed since we started, but Kunigami's true colors were already starting to show. Yuzuru had a smile on his face, but he was clearly irritated inside. His legs wouldn't stop bouncing under the table.
Nice to meet you. I'm Kaho Nishijima. I'm a nurse.
Wow, you're a nurse, Kaho? The patients you take care of must be so lucky.
A flight attendant, an executive secretary, and a nurse. Kunigami seemed very satisfied. However,
I'm Kokoro Sakuraba. I work at a funeral home as a funeral planner.
Wait, a funeral home? Whoa, did I hear that right? A funeral home? Isn't that a job that only makes money when people die? You profit off people's misfortune, and now you're out here looking for a good man too? This isn't the kind of place for you. Nobody's looking for a plain gloomy woman who works at a funeral home.
Hey, Kunigami! That's a horrible thing to say! Stop it!
my bad feeling that things wouldn't go smoothly today came true in the worst possible way.
There are many jobs that make more money the more misfortune there is. It's so dark, it's bringing my mood down too.
Stop it! Kokoro is my friend! How can you say that?
Kaho, the nurse, frantically tried to stop Kunigami, but he didn't seem to care at all.
She's your friend, Kaho? Come on, hanging out with someone who's at a funeral home every day? Doesn't it feel like you'll catch some bad luck or something?
Don't say such horrible things! Kokoro is a really sweet girl! Kaho, it's fine. Sorry, Kaho. I'm going to head home. Kokoro? Then I'll come with you. It's okay. If you leave too, the numbers will be completely off. I apologize to everyone for ruining the mood.
Showing neither anger nor sadness, no emotion at all, she bowed her head to us.
Huh? You got a problem?
No. I just thought I'd let you know. Everyone is equal in the end. We will all meet our time. There is no one who won't pass away.
Pointing out the obvious.
Is that so? Well then, excuse me.
Man, what a buzzkill. Well, now that the outcast is gone, let's start over.
The only disgusting outcast here is you.
Huh?
Kunigami tried to resume the mixture as if nothing happened. I'm not even adding an honorific to his name anymore. My hand, which had been stopping my best friend's leg from bouncing, was now tightly clenched and trembling with anger. What was that just now? Are you serious? Didn't you think about how your words would hurt her?
Why should I care? Everyone's like that, right? In the end, humans only care about themselves.
How arrogant. That doesn't give you the right to look down on people.
I just don't like women who work at funeral homes. She's not my type anyway, that's all.
He didn't hesitate at all. He truly believed what he was saying. In other words, he didn't even realize he was being malicious. Is that right? Well, I don't want to eat with a guy like you either, so I'm leaving.
Ha! Suit yourself. Now the numbers are perfectly balanced anyway.
Leaving behind a tense, explosive atmosphere, I walked out of the restaurant. That was the first time I had ever lashed out at someone I had just met. I need to text Yuzuru later. That being said, I wasn't worried. By the time I unleashed my anger, Yuzuru's leg had stopped bouncing, and more importantly, the look Yuzuru gave me as I was leaving told me he knew exactly what I was going to do next. Kokoro! When I walked out and looked around, I found Kokoro not too far away.
You're the one from before. Did something happen?
I'm Sokan. Sorry for calling out to you so suddenly.
It's fine. But right now, I was just picking up this elderly gentleman's dropped belongings. Wait, huh?
He's not here.
He's not. But at least I finished picking everything up. He was a somewhat mysterious old man.
Kokoro smiled gently, looking relieved as she thought about the old man. I thought she was a calm and kind person. Are you okay?
Huh? Oh, you mean from before? I'm sorry for ruining the mood. It's not my first time dealing with something like this, so I'm okay. Besides, I did talk back to him.
The city lights reflected in her glasses. I couldn't see the color of her eyes to tell if she really didn't mind. Are you heading to the station? Let me walk you there.
What? No, it's fine. You didn't have to leave the mixer too.
I don't want to eat with a guy like that. I picked a fight with him.
I see.
Also, that's not it. I just wanted to talk to you more.
You're even more mysterious than that old man. And now that I look closely, you kind of resemble him. Is it just my imagination?
Probably just a coincidence. Well, it's getting chilly, so shall we get going? As we started walking, the delicious smell of takoyaki drifted in on the night breeze, tickling my nose. We're hungry, aren't we? How about some takoyaki? She looked slightly surprised, but gently agreed, saying sure. We went into an izakaya known for its takoyaki, and Kokoro told me how she became a funeral planner.
A long time ago, I attended the funeral of a distant elderly relative. I was still in elementary school. She lived in a small country town, and so many people who adored her came to see her off. Grandma! Thank you, Grandma! A beautiful woman who was the deceased granddaughter was crying loudly. The grandmother's face was so peaceful, as if she was just sleeping. It was my first time attending a funeral, and that day stayed in my heart forever. I had never spoken to her while she was alive, but just by attending her funeral, I understood. I realized that her life had been a very warm and loving one. It was like watching the end credits of her life. It was a very deeply moving ceremony.
That's amazing that you could feel all that when you weren't just in elementary school.
Do you think so? Well, I'm only able to put it into words like this because I reflected on it as an adult. Back then, I just thought being a funeral director was an amazing job. I didn't know why, but I thought it was incredible, that was all. But when I actually reached the age to choose a career, I realized I had no resolve at all. I knew I might be looked at with prejudice like today. Using that as an excuse, I went to nursing school instead.
She told me that Kaho Nishijima, the friend who defended her earlier, was someone she met in nursing school.
But I realized something during my clinical training. In a hospital, the time you have after someone passes away is very short. A hospital isn't a place where grieving families can properly say their final goodbyes to their loved ones. That's when I realized that I really did want to be there for people in the final moments of their lives. That's when my resolve was finally set. So I really am fine. That man made fun of me, but something like that won't shake me anymore.
I see, that's a relief. But you're amazing, Kokoro. The final moments of goodbye in life. I truly agree with you.
Are you okay?
Because I spoke with such intense emotion, Kokoro looked at me with concern. She must be the kind of person who can read someone's feelings from their expression and the tone of their voice. Just as I was thinking that, the takoyaki we had been waiting for arrived. Seeing Kokoro stuff her cheeks with takoyaki, blowing on it to cool it down, was so adorable that I couldn't help but smile. The takoyaki here is delicious, isn't it? My grandfather loved it too. He also loved cherry blossoms. Takoyaki from this place was a must-have when we went cherry blossom viewing together.
Is that so? It really is delicious.
Kokoro smiled as she said that, but the steam from the takoyaki fogged up her glasses, hiding her eyes. I think your job is cool, Kokoro. And how you stood your ground and talked back earlier, too.
Thank you. I know I said I don't care if I get made fun of, but hearing you say that makes me feel a bit ticklish and really happy.
You really are a mysterious person, Kokoro chuckled. Everyone is equal in the end. We will all meet her time. I admired the strength of her heart to be able to declare that so confidently, and at the same time. Before I knew it, I found myself increasingly drawn to her. After that, Kokoro and I exchanged contacts and started texting frequently. We were both busy with work and couldn't meet up easily, but my heart still felt full. Wait, Kokoro, is it true that you don't get buried in guys? Even though your smile is so incredibly cute?
Cute doesn't logically mean getting buried. Besides, burying the living is not something I...
That's not what I meant by buried, Kokoro. We'd call each other before bed and joke around like this. That's how close we had become. Now, it was 2 weeks since that mixer. Today was the day Kokoro, Yuzuru, Kaho, and I promised to meet up.
Kokoro! Kaho, I'm sorry about that day. I caused you trouble. What are you talking about? I'm the one who should be apologizing.
It turned out Kokoro joined the mixer because Kaho invited her, so Kaho had been feeling responsible.
Kokoro, that day, Kaho was gonna run after you, but I stopped her.
I'm really worried about Kokoro, so I'm going to...
Kaho, it's fine. I'm sure Souta is chasing after her right now.
Is that so?
Yeah, Souta is a kind guy. Besides, we still have things to take care of here, don't we?
Yuzuru really did understand without me having to say a word. I felt glad all over again to have him as my best friend.
Souta, thank you so much for taking care of Kokoro.
No, I just wanted to talk to Kokoro. I hesitated, afraid that saying that would make it sound like I had ulterior motives.
You know, Souta treated me to takoyaki that day. It was really delicious. So you don't need to worry about anything. Thank you for trying to defend me that day, Kaho. Kokoro! Kokoro!
Kaho is a sweet person, isn't she?
Yeah, sorry to you too, Souta. I shouldn't have done something so out of character like inviting you to a mixer. Normally, I would have turned down my client's invitation, but I thought it might be a good distraction for you.
Yeah, I understand your true intentions, Yuzuru, so thanks for inviting me. Yes, I knew. Yuzuru, who always complained that mixers were a pain, had gone out of his way to bring me along. And more than anyone, he was worried about me, who had been depressed for a certain reason.
Plus, I made sure to thoroughly tear him down for calling you just decent.
Apparently, the things to take care of he mentioned to Kaho meant putting Kunigami in his place. Kunigami, who seemed more interested in Kaho, suffered a crushing defeat when she declared she hated him. I didn't mind what he said, but thanks. At this age, I was realizing once again that a best friend is the most valuable thing you can have. Still, seeing the look on Yuzuru's face made me a bit worried about exactly how badly he tore him down.
Oh, I know, Kokoro. We finally got together today, so how about we have as much fun as possible? We can take the local train from the station. A spontaneous countryside day trip could be amazing.
Oh, I like that idea. We're all always so busy, so relaxing for once sounds nice, right?
Yeah, I think it's a great idea. What about you, Kokoro?
I agree. Let's go.
And so, thanks to Kaho's idea, we decided to take a local train and go on a short day trip.
So this is what people in the Reiwa era call emo.
Tea and rice balls taste so good right now. The rocking of the local train felt comforting. The clatter of the tracks, a sound you don't get on the bullet train, brought back memories.
You two kind of sound like old men talking. You're right. And we have to talk like old ladies.
I found myself captivated by Kokoro's smile. It was a little different from how she was around me, showing the face she makes with her friends. Maybe Kokoro is surprisingly expressive.
Souta, are you mesmerized?
Shut up. Yuzuru, whispering so only I could hear, was as perceptive as ever. The ocean is beautiful. Whenever I saw beautiful scenery, I couldn't help but wish I could show it to someone precious to me. That day, surrounded by nature, we laughed a lot and talked about so many things. Hey, stop it, Yuzuru! I don't have a change of clothes.
Haha, it's warm today. It'll dry off eventually. Don't worry about it.
You two are really close.
It was just one day in a long life. While many days slip by and are eventually forgotten, the scenery of today was undoubtedly etched into my life. Days passed like this, and a new winter arrived. Dressed in jet black, I left my house to send off a certain someone.
I never thought you'd be working here.
On this freezing cold day, Kunigami was frowning with Kokoro standing in front of him. This was Love Koi Hall. He had come here for a funeral being held today.
I see. You were his son?
Huh? What's that? Is that how you treat an attendee? Where's your professionalism?
Despite Kokoro's earnest tone making his eyes dart nervously for a second, Kunigami maintained his aggressive attitude.
I apologize. My deepest condolences for your loss. I am Kokoro, and I will be in charge of your father's funeral today.
I look forward to assisting you today. She bowed politely, but Kunigami just scoffed and looked away.
How dramatic. You put on that face to act like you pity the family, but deep down, you're just thinking about making money. That's why I've always wondered why my dad ever became the president of a funeral company. I couldn't understand why he chose such a dark, gloomy place filled with misfortune.
You work as a foreign-affiliated consultant, correct?
Yeah, that's right. Man, not all CEOs' sons are the same. I absolutely refuse to take over my dad's business. That's why I decided to live in a highly elite industry, in a bright, glamorous world. I don't even remember when I last spoke to him, or what we talked about.
Everyone is equal in the end. We will all meet our time. Not everyone has time to mentally prepare before it happens.
Then again, what? Are you telling me to regret it and be sad?
No. The president, he took great pride in this work. I've seen countless grieving families saved by him. He was a truly remarkable man.
Just pretty words. Funerals are just a tear-jerking business to praise on people's emotions. You're just using the dead to make a profit.
His values weren't easily shaken. He had probably believed this for many years.
Stop it, Takuto! How dare you insult your father at a place like this?
The one who appeared was Kunigami's mother, who had been heading to the waiting room, and...
You, from the mixer.
Even on a day like today, you're still saying things like that? Me, having come to pay my respects to President Kunigami. I'm surprised. I never thought you were President Kunigami's son.
What? You here to laugh at me? Why are you even at my dad's funeral?
Watch your mouth. This man knew your father very well.
Huh? How do you know him?
I worked with President Kunigami. He consulted me on the renovation of this funeral hall. That's why we've met several times recently. That's right. I work in the design department of a local mid-sized construction company. We handle local commercial facilities, hospitals, mid-sized public facilities, and funeral halls. As part of that, I was in charge of the renovation consultation for Love Koi Hall, which is why I'm attending the funeral today. During our meetings, the president always told me, a funeral is a place to send off a life. That's why I want to make this hall a place where the family can feel even a little bit of peace. You have your own life too. I won't deny or affirm the values you formed from it. But using those values as a weapon to hurt others or insult someone's life, acting like you're completely justified, that's wrong. While we were talking, the people who admired the president started gathering in the hall.
Every single attendee here has their own memories with the deceased, a page of their lives. That is why they have come here today. And the same goes for you, doesn't it? Today, at this funeral, you are going to say goodbye to your father. Whether you cry or laugh, get angry or grieve, this day will be a turning point for you and your father. How about you try to remember as many things about your father as you can today, and send him off?
The very person he had publicly humiliated at the mixer was now trying to comfort his heart. Even he seemed to feel the awkwardness of it all, clenching his fists and staying completely silent.
Takuto, your father cared about you until the very end. The least you could do is express your gratitude to him.
I could hear whispers of criticism towards him from the attendees, but under Kokoro's calm guidance, the murmuring quickly died down. After that, President Kunigami's funeral went smoothly. When I glanced over at Kunigami, his eyes were red.
Despite insulting it so much, he ended up crying after all. You can't blame him. It was such a warm, touching ceremony.
Apparently, the president had told Kokoro while he was alive that he wanted her to handle his funeral. The funeral Kokoro put together, carrying his feelings, felt as if the president was smiling right beside us. It was a warm funeral, filled with the endless sound of people weeping as they remembered the president. Hello, Grandpa?
Oh, Souta, are you doing well?
One day in November, I got a phone call from my grandfather. It was just a normal everyday call like always. Yeah, I'm good. What's up today?
Well, I saw the place you're at on the news, so you know.
I see, you were worried about me. Thanks, Grandpa. At the time, I had been dispatched as support for a design team in a disaster recovery project. It was a job to help bring normal life back to a ruined town.
You're doing great, Souta. Helping people like that. You're my pride and joy.
What's this all of a sudden? You're weird, Grandpa. Grandpa laughed on the other end. Hearing his voice made my tense heart, straying from the disaster zone, feel a little lighter. Oh, right. I think I'll be able to visit home at least once in the spring. So let's go see the cherry blossoms together again this year, Grandpa.
What are you talking about, Souta? The cherry blossoms will bloom again next spring. Don't push yourself to come home.
But...
The cherry blossoms bloom over and over. People are the same, Souta. Even when times are tough, we can look forward again.
I've heard that story so many times, Grandpa.
Right, you have. So, just focus on your work for now. Please take good care of yourself.
Yeah, got it.
Bye, Souta. See you later.
Maybe Grandpa already knew that his life's flame was nearing its end. But I never imagined that phone call would be my last conversation with him. Grandpa always told me to be helpful to others. When I told him I was being dispatched to help with the disaster recovery project, he was so happy for me. But right during the busiest part of it, he passed away. I couldn't attend his funeral. Yes, this was the reason I had been depressed. A regret that stayed stuck in my heart. A few days after President Kunigami's funeral, I finally confessed my regrets to Kokoro. I'm sure Grandpa wasn't mad. I know that much. But I don't know why. It feels like my grandpa, who was always just there, suddenly vanished into thin air. Memories of him live on in every part of my daily life, but only he's missing. I wondered if I sounded pathetic saying all this, but sitting next to her, I couldn't stop.
I don't think anyone can immediately accept the death of someone precious to them. Even those who cherished their time with that person will always think, I should have done this or I should have done that. It's because they are precious to you that you think those things. That's just how it is. I've always believed that funerals are also a way to help the grieving family move forward. So, will you let me help you? You and I will send off your grandfather, properly, one more time. A memorial ceremony, so that you, Souta, can look forward and live on.
Kokoro smiled at me with the gentlest expression I had ever seen. Now, before the ceremony, let's talk a little bit about what happened after. As for Takato Kunigami, who caused the scene at his father's funeral, being witnessed by the funeral attendees caused him to slowly lose his social credibility.
Even if you've changed your ways now, the next president has already been decided. There's no seat for you. While your father was still here, why couldn't you have just sat down and talked with him properly?
Damn it, Dad.
Kunigami hadn't visited his father for a long time. In the end, his father may have used his own funeral to give his son one final lesson. Seeing firsthand how trusted and loved his father was, he was left carrying a deep sense of regret. A spring breeze blew, and cherry blossom petals brushed against my cheeks. This was the same cherry tree-lined path I had walked down with Grandpa countless times since I was a kid. After visiting Grandpa's grave, Kokoro, Yuzuru, Kaho, and I walked slowly, looking up at the cherry blossoms.
For a long time, there was something I couldn't figure out how to tell you, Souta. I was afraid it would just push you into a corner. On the day of the funeral, your dad, who was the chief mourner, mentioned it in his speech. He said your grandpa talked about you right until his very last moments.
Yes, I think Yuzuru attended my grandfather's funeral, partly because I couldn't be there. Yeah, I think so too. Grandpa loved me so much. I could say with confidence, my life was overflowing with love for my grandpa. Being able to say that made me feel truly happy. When I was little, I begged Grandpa to break off a cherry blossom branch for me here. He didn't do it in the end, but I wanted to bury the cherry blossoms he loved so much in his garden. I thought if I did that, he would surely smile for me. Because I loved him, just as much as he loved me. This might have been the first time I cried this hard since Grandpa died. All my pent-up emotions had finally found a place to go. Grandpa, I can't catch any petals at all.
Ha ha ha! Never giving up is what matters, but don't worry. I'll give all the petals I catch to you, Souta.
Even if we couldn't see them, the remnants of my grandfather and me from back then were still truly there in that scenery. And not just here. My grandfather lives on in every part of my daily life, even now.
He was a very kind grandfather, wasn't he?
Wait, Kokoro?
I'm sorry,
Hearing her voice tremble, I turned around to see Kokoro crying.
Usually I hold it in because it's my job. I'm not supposed to cry. When I was a rookie, I struggled so hard not to cry. So as a way to cope, I started wearing these fake glasses to hide my eyes.
She rarely showed her emotions, but somewhere along the line, I realized she was actually a very emotional person. Knowing I was right made a wave of affection for her well up in my heart. Thank you, Kokoro, for crying with me. Thanks to you, I feel like I can finally send Grandpa off properly. The memorial ceremony Kokoro planned for me. It was filled with all the little memories of Grandpa that I had casually mentioned to her. Grandpa's favorite cherry blossoms, the tree-lined path we walked down, the takoyaki he loved. She carefully gathered the feelings I had only spoken of once and brought them all together. Suddenly, an especially strong yet gentle spring breeze blew past us.
I can't break off a branch, but how about trying to catch the falling petals? It's surprisingly hard.
Really? I'll do it. I want to. Let's make it a competition then. As a flurry of cherry blossom petals swirled around us, the other three couldn't help but gasp in awe.
Don't worry, I'll give all the petals I catch. To you, Souta.
When I loosely opened my palm, a cherry blossom petal fell right into my hand, without me even having to chase it. Back then, no matter how much I waved my arms around, I couldn't catch a single one. Thank you, Grandpa. I'll see you again someday. I'll surely see him again someday. Until then, I strongly vowed to live a life he could be proud of. Kokoro, will you listen to me?
Yes?
Looking at her bare face, messy with tears, I enveloped her hands, placing the fallen petal into them. I love how you take pride in your work. I love how kind you are, more than anyone else.
Huh?
Kokoro's bewildered, silly little squeal of surprise was so incredibly cute that I laughed out loud.
But are you sure? Someone like me, I mean, I'm plain and people always make fun of me and...
You're the one I want. Can't you believe me?
I believe you. I've always liked you too. Kokoro! I'm so happy for you!
This might be your grandpa's doing too, Souta. Good for you, man.
The two of them cheered for us, and Kokoro's cheeks turned bright red.
Hey, Souta, that elderly man from the night of the mixer? Maybe he was a messenger from your grandfather.
You might be right. You did say he looked like me, and smelling the takoyaki might not have been a coincidence either.
Maybe he brought us together. I'd like to believe in a destiny like that.
Everyone is equal in the end. We will all meet our time. That's the law of this world. No matter how much you prepare your heart, no matter how much time you spend together to your satisfaction, there will always be loneliness after a parting. The more love there is, the more it hurts. But even so, I want to be with the person I cherish, right up until that very moment.
Woo! Brittany here. This episode touched me really deeply. What a beautiful message. Just absolutely gorgeous. I hope you enjoyed it too, and I'll see you next time. Love you all.